I'm really happy to be here. I really love this organization because they really have a passion for helping students. And how many of you all have heard me speak before? Anybody heard me speak before? Okay, so I came to your institution last year. So I just want to play this one little clip it so you hear, this is the only one of you hear one thing this guy has to say. That's all I want you to hear. Because what I'm about to say may sound crazy to you, but can you all repeat after me? Graduate school is free.
Graduate school is free.
Say it again. Graduate school is free.
Graduate school is free.
How many of y'all believe that? So you came to my workshop, so you believe it. Got some naysayers over there. Okay, so we're going to talk about graduate school and being free. But before I get into that, answer this question for me. Where will you go once you finish your bachelor's degree? Because I think everybody here is an undergraduate, right? So, except for one. But where are you going to go after you finish undergrad? Who's going to go to industry? Put your hand up. Okay, that one. Okay. Who's going to go to grad school? Who doesn't know? Okay, all right. We got some. Okay. So by the time I finish, hopefully you will say you're going to grad school and you're going to go where? Immediately. And for what? Free. All right. So real briefly. So again, a lot of people think that graduate school, doesn't pay off. It does. It pays dividends. And we're going to talk about how it does that. But I want to give you a story. I like to tell stories. So the story I like to talk about is the two frogs. Who's heard the two frog story before? Nobody. I got a new crop. Okay. So there were two frogs. All of them were hanging out with their buddies, and they fell into a ditch. And the two were there in the ditch. And so when they were down in the ditch, the friends said, "You're not getting out of that hole. Just stay there and die, give up." But the two, first of all, they kept jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping. And then one said, "You know what? They're right. I'm just going to roll over and die." But one just kept jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping. And his friend's like, no, don't do it. You just roll over and give up. But he kept jumping, and he jumped out of that ditch. And he dusted himself off. As he was dusting himself off, his buddies come over to him and say, "Didn't you hear us? Why didn't you stop jumping?" And then at that point, he turns around and he sees his lips. He said, "You were telling me to stop? I thought you were encouraging me because I'm deaf." And so be careful to what you listen to and be deaf to those that want to rob your dreams. A lot of folks are going to try to tell you not to go to grad school, or they're going to try to tell you to go at night or things like that. We don't want you to go to night school. We want you to go to grad school. And so do this. And instead of being I want you to be not that two frogs. I want you to be this frog with a cap and gown. And that's this two frog story. So let me move on. So here I want to talk about Jim, talk a little bit about myself, talk about why grad school. When you heard a little bit about grad school, we had a great presentation this morning about grad school. And then also we're going to talk about some degree programs, and then obviously the Jim program. So if you haven't heard anything that I say today, Jim wants to see every last one of you all go to grad school for free. We want to see you all go to grad school for what? Free. And everybody in this room is under this category, so we want you to do that. So how we do that? We do that through our network of employers and universities. And so those individuals want to see you go to grad school for what?
Free.
And so they will also pay for you to do internships in the summer, and you get full tuition and fees to go to a Jim school. If you look in your accordion's brochure here, if you flip to the middle, you can see some of the Jim schools that we have on our database. And you can go to any gym school and use your gym data. If you get into the school, you can use your gym fellowship at any gym school. So, and we've been doing this for 41 years. About 4,000 alums that have gone through our program. So it is very attainable. This is a real brief snapshot of what the gym program is. So we have, last year we got about 150 gym fellowships last year. So we're really proud about that. Get full tuition and fees and a minimum stipend, with minimum emphasis of $16,000. Most of our PhD gym fellows, we work with the institution that the students will be funded at the same level as the other PhD students in their department. So if you're in chemistry or if you're in civil engineering and all the other students are getting $25,000, they will add to your stipend so that you are up to $25,000. Some of the other benefits of being sponsored as a gym applicant. So you just put your name in the hat. You didn't even get the gym fellowship yet. You apply to our program. You can apply to most of the gym universities for free. And so we also do GRE waivers. So we do a program called Grad Lab, which stands for Getting Ready for Your Advanced Degree Laboratory. We've done them on some of your campuses. And if you come to that and apply to the gym fellowship, you can actually get a voucher to apply for the GRE at 50% off. Did you get one?
I did.
See, so 50%, that's $100 in your pocket. And then universities recruit very heavily out of our database. So if there's a school on our list that you think you might want to go to, they're always looking for gym fellows. And then also we share our database with other funders like National Science Foundation, NIH, and folks like that. So I talked about the Grad Lab. So the Grad Lab is where we spend about 2.5 days, something similar to this, where we focus on making sure that you know why you should go to grad school, how to do it competitively, how to fund it, and then we have role models for you to add to your network. I always say this, your opportunities are as big as your network. They're as big as your network. And so if you have a lot of people in your network, then your opportunities will increase. We do another program, not just to get you into grad school, we try to help you get through grad school, called FFP, which stands for Future Faculty and Professional Symposium. We typically only do that at our gym conference, but if you become a gym fellow, you come to our conference and you get a chance to be exposed to that. But we talk about topics like the dissertation. We talk about how to write a dissertation and live to tell about it, how to compose your academic life, how to be the only one and still be successful, and those kind of things. And so we were in New York just recently, so we were just there. So this is, I'm going to talk real briefly about grad school, why you should go to grad school, because you got a great presentation this morning. So I don't want to rehash that, but I just want to give you a few things from my wheelhouse. So reality TV. Who watches reality TV? Everybody hands is going to go up. Everybody, yeah, right. All right. So what y'all watch on reality TV? Come on now.
Movies.
What's that? Game of Thrones. That's not reality TV. Cartoons. Okay, that's cool. All right, sports too. All right. Y'all don't watch any reality TV. This is a very unique group. This is a very unique group. Okay, all right. I'm proud of you. Because I don't either. But I usually watch things that end with the letter N. HLN, CNN, and for those sports enthusiasts, ESPN. That's what I watch. So since I basically had seen all my highlights and all the headlines and all what was going on in the world, and I'd seen all the sports scores, I was flipping through and I saw a reality TV called Extreme Makeover. And so this particular one was a young man who was an ex-football player. He had a lot of challenges, didn't make it on to the next level, blew up to about 500 pounds. And, by the end of that hour, he was 250. his girlfriend problems they gotten over and all of that. I was like, wow, they can do a whole lot in an hour. But it was extreme makeover. So what we're trying to do here this weekend is to extremely make over your mind, extremely make over your life so that you can have an extremely made over opportunity and career in life to, that you can actually do anything that you want to do. So that's what we're trying to do here today. So I'm going to explain myself by the science of microwave popcorn. Y'all know the science of microwave popcorn? Anybody heard that before? Huh? Yeah? No? Okay.
You're talking about radiation or you're talking about
Popcorn, how it pops. You know what? Yeah. So let me just tell you real briefly. So microwave popcorn, every kernel has a little bit of moisture in it. Just a little bit of moisture. And those kernels are pretty hard, right? If you don't believe me, bite on one. You might break your tooth. But it has a little bit of moisture in it. And when you put it in a microwave and it starts to heat up, that water and the moisture inside gets hot and becomes what? Engineers? Steam. Close. You got ahead of me. But it becomes steam. And that steam continues to push on the walls of that kernel till you hear what? Pop. And so then, after a little while longer, you start hearing pop, 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 pop. And so then I get really excited because I'm a connoisseur of microwave popcorn. So I go get my favorite beverage and get ready because I know in about 2 minutes, I'm going to have microwave popcorn and going to enjoy it. So I'm going to explain myself and liken it to microwave popcorn. So I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. Anybody from St. Louis here? Okay, all right. That never happens. That never happens. That never happens. I speak all over the country, and I've never heard anybody say, ooh. That's awesome. So if you're from St. Louis, what's the next question I'm going to ask you? What high school you went to? Yeah, that's the St. Louis thing. So I grew up in St. Louis, and I was pretty, like most of you probably had teachers when you were in high school that said, you're pretty good in math and science. You should consider engineering. Did y'all get that?
Yeah.
Did tell you? Okay. And so my teachers told me that, but they said it's really hard. It's really hard. But, I said, you know what? I think I want that challenge. So I went down to the University of Missouri Rolla, changed the name to Missouri University of Science and Technology a few years ago. And Missouri S&T, I went down on the microwave of STEM. They put me on the turntable of research, and they punched in 7.5 years. And for the first year of going around that turntable, nothing's happening. Just like in the microwave, when you put your microwave popcorn in, nothing happened. And then, all of a sudden, I hear a pop. I was on the dean's list. That never happened. And then, Christmas time, I get a call from 3M. Pop. We want to give you an internship. And then it just got bananas, because then I got scholarships and internships and research assistantships, and all these things just start happening, and it was all because of graduate school and having focus on going to grad school. When I stepped on campus as a freshman, I knew I wanted to get a PhD. I didn't know how, I didn't even know what it meant, but I knew I wanted one. So, with that said, a little bit about me. Got a little haircut before I came. But I'm an engineer. Had a chance to work at, as I said, 3M company. I worked at AT&T Bell Labs. I worked at the FBI. And then I had this epiphany. After working at Texas Instruments for about 10 years, I really wanted more folks that looked like me to work alongside me. And I worked in R&D. And when I was there, all of the managers said, well, what kind of degrees do they have? I said, well, they have bachelor's degrees. He said, well, that's not good. And so I said, well, but they have experience. They said, well, that's still not good enough. They need at least an advanced degree. So I said, well, if I can't get them to take them now, I got to go back and tell the story. So about 2004, I went back to the University of Missouri, started encouraging students to get their master's and PhDs, and then I went through the GEM program. And that's what I do today. I want to see everyone in this room get at least a master's, if not a PhD. And so, since I know you all can do it, all you stand up. So I think everyone has the mental capacity to get at least a master's degree in engineering and or science. So I want you to say your first name, your last name, MS, which stands for Masters in Science. At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Sound good, didn't it? Sound good. Well, I want you to wear a master's. I want you to wear a PhD. So I want you to say your first name, your last name, PhD. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that sounds better, didn't it? All right. You want to do it again? Let's do that again. Let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3. But if you get a PhD, what do they usually say? Doctor. So I want you to say doctor. And put your first and last name behind it. Count of 3. 1. She already did. Can't wait. Can't wait. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. That sounds good. One more time. His voice, Dr. Optic. He's like, doctor. So let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. All right. Give yourself a hand as you sit down. Now, what you did today is you planted a seed. But you planted a seed that you are going to get a PhD. You're going to get a PhD. And that seed was planted in my head when I was in Missouri as a freshman in college. And there's a quote that I always like to use from a book called Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill back in 1937. Old book, great messages. But there's a quote I like in that book. It says, if you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. Who's heard that before? Came from that book. If you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. And today you've conceived the idea of getting a PhD. A PhD. Through time and working with centers like the MATC program and all your institutions, your mentors, they will help you water that idea, help you water that. And then you will be, actually, bless you. You will be able to achieve a PhD. A PhD. That's awesome, isn't it? All right. How y'all feeling now? Amazing. Feeling amazing? Okay. So the question on the floor is, why grad school? I like to flip the other way. I say, why not grad school? It's like me saying to someone in elementary school, are you going to middle school? Of course you're going to middle school. So I say to you, of course you're going to grad school. You gotta go to grad school. It's so much more fun once you get your graduate degree. So I call this my detours to destiny. So some of you are going to go do exactly what we say. You're going to go straight to the PhD. Some of you are going to get off the road and try to get back on. And you're going to get off the road and come back on. And that's okay. But let's roll through it. So bachelor's in science. Everybody in this room is going to get one of those. Yes. So let's break it down. What are you going to get with a bachelor's in science? Entry-level position, right? Because you know just basically what you need to know. Lower pay, That's exciting, right? And when times get rough, what happens? Potential layoffs. Yeah, right? When times get rough. So I say you get basic strength. That's what your BS will give you, basic strength. Basic strength. But if you can listen to us and go on to grad school, you get a master's in science. So it gets a little more exciting. Leaders on projects, right? Promotions, higher salary. And so I call that more strength. So you can do more than what you could with a bachelor's degree. But what did we just talk about? PhD. So if I can get you a chance to do that, a PhD, guess what? You can define what you want to do. You heard the speaker before. She's basically crafting her own path wherever she wants to go with her PhD. And so this is a Marcus phrase. If I see this anywhere, I'll kill y'all. But this is what I call the PhD. Pursuing your higher destiny, because you can do whatever you want to do with it. And when you have your PhD, you become the light in the room. And being an engineer, I can't get out of here without giving y'all at least one equation. So I chose Newton's second law. Y'all know what that is?
Of course.
All right. So let me give you the Marcus version of Newton's second law. If you do the things that we're asking you to do, internships, research, doing well in class, of course, going to grad school, you will become a massive person. But if you do it swiftly, accelerate it, do it over and over and over and over and over, you will become a force to be reckoned with in anything that you decide to do. So that's what I think you should do. And this is what I think you should do, but you got to believe it. You have to believe it, and you can do it. Everybody in this room can do what we're asking you to do. How do I know? Because I did it. And I was told a lot of times that I couldn't do it. But guess what? I believed in me. And so you all can do it too. Any questions? All right, let's move on. So why should we go to grad school? You have training, involvement, specialization. And I could go through a lot of these, but the one thing that I want you to know is that by doing grad school, you become a specialist. When your name is typed in about a specific topic, because you're an expert, you're going to be number one on the Google list. That's what your job is to do, become the number one on the Google list. And who likes that? More money. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. When you can do it, it's about anything you want to do. Academia, research, consultant, decision maker, management, leadership. All these things are in your wheelhouse if you go to grad school. Now this is a kind of a disheartening slide for me. But if you go to grad school, look at how many more people you're more competitive than. This is the census information. Almost 50% of America, you would have opportunities to do things that most Americans can't do. Just by getting your master's degree or PhD. So, if you go to grad school, I mean, if I can't convince you all to go to grad school, where are my workers again? Where's your hand up? Don't be scared now. Okay, gonna do burp. All right, I got on the fence now. I got on the fence. Okay, all right. How long does an average professional work?
40 hours.
Forever. That's true. But the average professional works how many years? Give me some years.
30 years.
30 years. Okay, that's good. Good. Anybody think more or less? 35. Anybody think more than 35? 40? 45, 55.
Depending on occupation.
Yeah. So let's just take the average is about 40 years. It's about 40 years, okay? And what's some of the average salaries for you all's majors? Starting salaries. 65. I heard 80, 50. After taxes. Yeah. Very good. That's a whole nother workshop. I can give you a whole nother workshop on that. So 50,000. So let's just take 50,000. What's the class you hate the most?
Wastewater.
Wastewater. Geotech. Dynamics. Accounting.
Structural was pretty rough.
Structural analysis. Okay. Oh, that's right. You are all a civil, right? Okay. Not all, but some mechanicals in here, right?
Some lower level DE was pretty rough.
DE was real. Oh, okay. DE. I used to get thermo. Somebody, oh, y'all. Yeah, I used to get thermo. I used to hear thermo. What thermo do to y'all? What thermo do to y'all? Everything. Okay. Okay. So the class you hate the most, how much more would you want in your check per year to take that advanced level of that course that you hate the most? At least 5. I want that much. How much? 30? I need 35. 35. Okay. 3,500 for 1,000. 35,000. Okay. So let me just take 20, because numbers are easier that way. 20,000 more in your check. We said 40 years average professional works. How much money is that over the course of that time? Say it loud, proud. How much? Say it loud so they can hear you. $800,000. That's the pure math. So, but usually if you are making that kind of money, you're going to get what? If you do well on your job, you're going to get what? Bonuses, stock options, raises, all those things. So the number is probably closer to $1 million. Who cannot afford to go to grad school? You can afford not to? No, that's $1 million reasons why you should go. And that's just the financial things. I mean, life gets better with $1 million, right? So I want to try it out. I understand. So you should be passionate about these things, though. So whatever you decide to do, whatever gets you out of the bed in the morning, you should love to do it. But if you didn't get a degree, could you make an impact in your community? Absolutely. But if you had a PhD and you walk in the room, do you think you can make maybe a bigger impact? Potentially? I mean, they're at least going to assume you're smart, right? You can open your mouth and prove it wrong, but at least they're going to assume it as soon as you walk in the door. You know, and I've moved around a lot with my career, and I attribute it all to having a PhD. And obviously, the compensation. We talked about the numbers. The numbers are strong, right? Now, this is if you had a degree in tiddlywinks. This is all your majors, and for engineering, it's going to be a whole lot more than this. Whole lot. But this is good. This is the kind of payoff for getting that money. And so this is how much money that may pass through your hands. It's not how much money you make. It's how much money you what? Keep. So y'all gonna have a whole workshop on debt tomorrow. So even if you make $1 million, if you spend $1 million in one, guess what? You're still in debt. So I'm not gonna go through that. But the one thing the serious part about this, as minority students, we need to know our net worth. So when you're sitting across from your potential employer, you need to know how much you should at least be asking for. Competitively, you don't want to go too low, and you don't want to go too high either, because you don't want to run away the opportunities. But you at least want to have a negotiation, and a fair negotiation. And particularly ladies who are always underpaid anyway, you need to know your net worth before you're sitting out there. And so go to those websites. So this is what I call, something that's keeping you competitive. So know how to meet people. Know how to be flexible. The goal is just to finish. You can go change the world once you get those 3 letters behind your name. Or those 2 letters in front of your name, however you want to place it. But also learn how to be academic. How do you do that? Hang out with them. Hang out with professors. Find someone that you kind of really look up to, and they'll pull you along the way. Learn how to pull your own weight and also be a teammate. Those are really good things. That sounds pretty cool. I don't have to write that down. Write that down for me. But know how to pull your weight, because the individual contributors, PhDs know how to do things on their own, but then they also know how to play with others in their wheelhouse. And this is critical here, because life is too short to try to make all the mistakes. So having good mentors, coaches, and advisors, they will pull you through. They will help you get through. So, the levels of degrees. We talked about the bachelor's, we talked about the master's, we talked about the PhD. So let me put it in sports terms. Some of y'all who like sports? Like sports, okay. How many of y'all been to a stadium before? You just left there, okay, all right. So, if you get one of the cheapest tickets, where are they gonna put you? In the nosebleeds, all right? And if you get one of the premium ones, like if you're going to a football game, they're going to put you on the what? 50-yard line. Or if you're at a basketball game, they're going to put you at courtside. And then you have the folks that are actually playing the game, right? The athletes. So let's look at the bachelor's degree. The bachelor's degree is in the nosebleeds. Who wants to be in the nosebleeds? I mean, when you look down at the game, they look like ants, right? It's like, I know something going on, but I can't really make out what's really going on. Now, the master's degree, then they're going to kind of put you in the box seats or the suites, where they bring you food, and you don't have to catch your food and all those kind of things. So that's the master's degree. But if you get the PhD, you get in the game. And so that's what we want you to do. We want you in the game. We want you to do the things that you want to do. PhD takes all the limitations off the table. That's what it does for you. All right, so really quickly, I'll talk about this. Set goals, your academic goals, your career goals, and your life goals. And the key thing that I want you to do, once you hit a goal, you must celebrate. Even if it's just to go and get a milkshake at Steak and Shake or wherever, celebrate your goals, and because you'll try to keep hitting them. So celebrate. All right. For about 20 years, I was a vegetarian, and then I married a girl from Texas. Beef capital of the world. So guys, I hadn't had a burger in 20 years. I rolled up to McDonald's, and they went from a quarter pound of a cheese when I was eating meat to a double quarter pound of a cheese. And I'm like, wow, I want to try that. So I ordered a double quarter pound of a cheese. And I was trying to be good, y'all. I really was. So I took the top piece of bread off, because I said, at least I'm going to eat all this meat. Maybe I'll just eat one slice of the bread, So I tried to fold it over like a taco. I tried to fold it over. And this stuff started running down my arm, and all on my clothes and all of that. And I was thinking about that. I'm always trying to think about ways I can relate things to grad school, right? So I said, if you have a bachelor's degree, all of y'all gonna have a good foundation. That was that bread at the bottom. But you need something to kind of help you manage that mess that was rolling all down my arm and all on my pants and all those things. So you need to put something on top. So I always say this. Sometimes you need the top and the bottom to help you manage your mess. What's your mess? When the economy gets bad, when you want to change your jobs, when you don't like your boss, and you can go and put in for something else. There will be messes that are coming your way. But with a graduate degree, you can do what? Pursue your higher destiny. And you don't have to manage anyone's mess but your own. Y'all like that? Was that good?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about money. All right. I gotta stop. I only got 30 minutes. You got a little more time. All right, thank you. So I want to talk a little bit about money because y'all want to go to grad school for free, right? Yeah. All right. So there's 3 types of funding. There's merit-based funding, there's need-based funding, and then there's assistantships. So you all learned about this a little bit today. So need-based funding obviously comes through the FAFSA. And then there's internal and external sources. Internal funding is institutional aid. That's money that's tied to an institution. And then there's external sources, which is portable funding, and that money goes wherever you want to go. So that's what we have here. So institutional aid, who thinks institutional aid is better than portable funding? Who thinks institutional aid is better? Okay, who thinks portable funding is better? Who doesn't know? All right, got some truthfuls. If you don't have to pay it back, it's all good money. It's all good money. So get what you can and decide what's best for you. So again, I say grad school is what?
Free.
So does that sound free?
No.
All right. Let me tell you the folks that typically take out loans to go to grad school. When you go to when you graduate and take a job, what's the first thing you're going to buy? What's the first thing you're going to buy? A car, absolutely. You're going to buy a new car or a used car? No, of course new. Going to be on dubs. You'll have everything. Everything. And if you're going to work, you got to look good, right? So you got to get what? Got to get new clothes. And you can't park that new car up against the apartment you live in right now, right? So you got to buy what? Got to buy a house. And so once you finish that, then what you going to have? A lot of what? Yes. Absolutely. So if you're going to have that, you can't play a graduate school stipend for your Beamer and your Chanel and living in Beverly Hills on a $30,000 stipend. It's not going to happen. So most of the folks that I see that take out loans to go to grad school are those that live life and then try to come back. So I tell students this: be broke once in life. Once you start making a real check, don't go back to being broke again. So be broke once. Employers will try to woo you over, but they want to send you to night school, not grad school. And then we'll talk about external sources. So need-based funding, fill out FAFSA. Merit-based funding is money that I get excited about because that's the money that you get because of the hard work that you did in class. So do well in class, do research, do internships. That's going to set you apart. Assistantships, most of you will have, for those that do PhDs, are going to do some of this at some point in your life. So you have research assistantships. And you see this up here, it says halftime. Y'all know what that means? No. Anybody know what that means? Okay. How many hours do they say a full-time worker works? 40. What's half of that? 20. All right, that's halftime. So that's when anybody say they're giving you a halftime appointment, they're saying they're going to pay you for 20 hours. Now you're going to work more than 20 hours, but you're going to get paid for 20. And I have a band here of 10,000 or 30,000. But again, research assistantships, those are used to help you pay for grad school. And if you can align it with your research dissertation topic, you're getting paid to graduate. And then you got teaching assistantships. Who wants to be a faculty member one day? Who wants to teach in college? All right. We got 2. I got 2. All right. Whoever had a bad teacher before? Oh, all the hands go up. Look at that. Teaching is a learned skill. So if you want to learn how to teach, grad school is a good way to do that. Now, if you had to choose between a research assistantship or teaching assistantship, which one would you choose? Who says research? Who says teaching? Who doesn't know? Again, teaching is a learned skill. So for all my faculty members, you got to do it. You got to do it. It's a necessary evil. All right. So nationally competitive fellowships. If you're going to find anything in life, these days, where do you go? Google. Yep, that's right. So you're going to try to find money, go to Google. It's the first place I would go. Then there's other places you can go. This is a really good website, UCLA Grapes. Now, and then the next one would be grants.gov. When the government's working, that site works well. When it's not working, sometimes it goes down. ASEE, they have a lot of opportunities for you as well. Fine Aid. And then we have FAFSA, we talked about that. Sally Mae. No. Sally Mae talks about what? Loans. So we're going to leave her alone. Who has a FastWeb account? Used to. Have you updated? Yeah, they do have some graduate opportunities. And then for international students, there's a link that I have there for EduPass. You want to take a picture of that? Yeah. Go ahead, yeah.
I got it.
Oh, but the reason I don't share my PowerPoints because one time I went to a conference and all they changed was my name. Take a picture. All right. So NSF wants to send you to grad school for free. They have a lot of opportunities. So I'm gonna roll through these pretty quick. $30,000 for AGIP. $30,000 plus for NSF research fellowship.
It's 32,000.
Oh, that's why I put plus because every time I kept having to update it. So it's 30,000 plus. It's actually 32.5. So it keeps going up. Sloan, they usually give you 1 year funding, and then you continue to get increased money over time. But what I like about this fellowship is that it gives you the option to work with faculty to make sure that you finish. So your stipend can actually go down if faculty are not producing PhDs. Actually can go up if they are producing PhDs. So this is a pretty good fellowship. NASA has one, a really good one. And then SMART, this is a good one too, but this one has a service requirement. This is one of the few that do have a service requirement. What that means is if you get their funding, you have to work for them full time. It's not a bad deal because you have a gig once you finish, but know that you're gonna have to go work and pay that money back through your service. And then this is another one, DOE, and then NDSEG. Now, I spent in Ford Foundation. Okay, so this one's good too because the Ford Foundation Fellowship is, they try to help you with your pre-doctoral. They help you when you're finishing up, writing up your dissertation, and then once you finish, for a postdoc. Y'all know what a postdoc is, right? Okay, so a postdoc, who doesn't know what that is? Okay, so a postdoc is what you do once you finish your PhD. There may be a faculty member across the country that you really wish you could have done research with. And so you can go to that faculty member and say, hey, I have this postdoc fellowship. Can I come work for you? I'm bringing my own money. I just want to do research with you. And so you're bringing your money with you. So this is very attractive for faculty to help you work with others. So I spent all that time, and I didn't even talk about gym yet, except for the beginning. So let me just go through this really quickly. I'll leave my information, because I do have to catch a flight. If I miss my flight, I'll be here tonight. So let's get through this really quickly. But the gym fellowship, again, is a really good fellowship. And again, what we try to do is make sure that we connect you to funding so that you don't have to go to grad school. And you can go grad school for what? Free. That's right. So how do we do that? We do that through our universities and employers. We have over 100 universities that you can choose from. Not everyone's on the gym list. Why? Because we vet every university before we send you there. Because we want to make sure that one, not just you're going to get money, but there's an environment where you can finish. And so we vet everyone before they become a gym university. Please, yes.
Quick question. So Vandy is on this list.
Yes.
Vanderbilt is on this list. I don't see
This is not a comprehensive list. You want to go here to get the full list of universities. Good question. And so we also have employers that you'll do internships with. So this is the money slide, so to speak. So we have 2 GEM tracks. We have the Master's in Engineering track, and then we have the Science, PhD Science and Engineering track. For the Master's, you get 2 years of funding, you get full tuition, and you get 2 paid internships. Most of our students make anywhere from $10,000 to $18,000 in the summer, depending on the major and how long you work. And then for a PhD, you're only required to do 1 internship. You get $16,000, the minimum. And like I said, we negotiate with the university that they'll bring you up to the same level as whoever's in your department. But here's the GEM commitment. If they bring you as a GEM fellow, you get 5 years of funding at the institution. They're committing to you for 5 years. And then you get your tuition and fees, and we're required to do 1 internship. So apply by November 13th. If you share a phone message with someone, make sure you have a professional outgoing message, at least between December and January, because employers do call. And you want to make sure that you do that. You also have to apply to 3 GEM universities. And if you apply to GEM first, most institutions will waive the application fee to apply to their institution. Then you will know by March if you have the GEM fellowship, and then university partners will let us know if they've admitted you and you do your summer internship. This is your only requirement of the GEM fellowship: 2 summer internships as a master's, 1 for the PhD. That's all we require of you. And then you get free grad school. So October 1st, November 13th is the only year this is going to do that. We typically November 15th. You interview with your employers December to January. You'll know by March if you have it. You let us know where you plan to go to grad school in April to May. You do your internships in the summer, and then school starts. This is the last program I want to talk about, and then I'll open up for questions because I'm way over. So we have a university and associate fellows program. So the reason we have this program is because we have about 1,700 students that apply every year. And since they are applying to the program, and we're only funded by 150, right? Universities are coming to us and saying, we have all these great students in the database, and we're sitting here waiting on employers to select them. We still want to name them GEM fellows anyway. So they came up with the University and Associates Fellowships program. So as an associate fellow, you get internship, and it's kind of a pseudo internship because they'll bring you on campus that summer and pay you there, and you get a stipend, and you get full tuition, just like a normal GEM fellow. And then the university fellow would just get tuition and fees. And then you would say, well, why would I do that? Well, some of you all said you were going to do masters. Where are my master's students? Most master's programs are not funded. So if a university is willing to pay you tuition and fees, jump on it, because not many will do that, other than like if you're in the bridge to doctorate program or GEM fellowship.